Here are my NFL picks for Week 14. The first game we have Seattle versus Atlanta. In this game, I think I'm gonna go Seattle. I picked Seattle for a few different reasons, just based off of some of the key injuries that Atlanta has, on top of Seattle's just really dominant defense, and that's coming from a Rams fan. I personally just feel like Atlanta just doesn't have enough to get the job done on the offensive side of the ball, so I'm going Seattle there. With the next game, we have Pittsburgh versus the Ravens, and I'm taking the Ravens in this one. I feel like with the Ravens defense finally trying to pick up, I feel like the Steelers just have been struggling throughout the year, so I'm taking the Ravens in that game. This one's kind of a tough one because you have Tennessee and Cleveland. It's kind of a coin flip if I'm being real. I feel like both teams have struggled this year, but if I'm having to choose, I'm going Cleveland in this one just based off of Cleveland's dominant defense. I just feel like they'll get the job done for their team in that game. Next game we have is Indianapolis and Jacksonville. I really feel like this one has the potential to be an upset, so I did pick Jacksonville in this one. With them having a top-tier rushing defense, I feel like they can slow down Indianapolis's run offense. And then, honestly, with them having Jacoby Myers, I feel like he'll have a big game this game. So I took Jacksonville with the upset on this game. The next one we have was Washington and the Vikings. This is kind of a toss-up as well, but I feel like with Washington playing decent last week and the Vikings seeming to struggle to be able to get the ball to their key receivers, I don't want to say an upset, but I took Washington over the Vikings in that game. Then you have the Dolphins versus the Jets. That's just another toss-up if I'm being real, but I went Miami in that one. A few of these games I'm just going to run through. Then you have the Saints versus the Buccaneers. I went the Buccaneers in this one. I feel like Baker's been having a decent season, and if they can protect him, they will throw the ball 30 times a game, but they get the job done doing so. So I took Baker and the Buccaneers in that game. Then we have Cincinnati and the Bills. With this one, like I said, it's a few of them that I feel like can be upsets this week. And with Joe Burrow coming back last week, I feel like this has the possibility of being an upset. But at the same time, with Cincinnati's defense struggling how it does and the Bills' rushing offense actually being really good, I feel like if the Bills actually run the ball how they're supposed to, that should be a pretty easy game. But like I said, if they come out and throw the ball and do all the extras, it is a possible that Joe Burrow will get an upset in that game. Then we have the Broncos versus the Raiders. I took the Broncos in this one. I feel like their defense will just be too much for Geno. I feel like by the middle to end of the third quarter, he'll be throwing the ball almost every play, trying to play from behind. So I took the Broncos in that game. Then you have the Packers at Green Bay. I took the Packers in this one, but I feel like if they let Chicago establish the run game how they've been doing lately, that is a toss-up as well. And it's also going to have something to do with the weather. With them playing in Wisconsin, you never know how the weather will be, so that could turn out to be just a full run game from both sides. So, but my heart's telling me to go with Green Bay, so I picked them. Then you have my team, the future Super Bowl champions. This should be a pretty easy game, especially with the way that Matt's been playing lately. Last week was kind of iffy, but the weather had factors to do with it. So I just feel like the Cardinals don't have enough, if I'm just going to be honest. So, of course, I took the Rams in that game. And then last, you have Houston and Kansas City. I love Houston's defense, but at the same time, as much as they've been talking about Patrick Mahomes, I feel like he's probably tired of hearing it. And I feel like he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder or something to prove, and I feel like he'll end up pulling that game off. But those are my picks for Week 14 of the NFL season. If you have any comments or anything, just drop it below. Also, let me know your picks below, who your team is, who you had winning, or if you had anything different than I had. But don't forget to follow.